Take a look at your smartphone. Now look out the window at a solar panel, or think about the electric vehicle parked down the street. Most people see glass, plastic, and high-tech batteries. What they don't see is the invisible glue holding our entire modern world together: silver. We've been taught to think of silver as gold's cheaper, less successful cousin, a participation trophy for the economy. But that narrative is dangerously wrong. While gold sits in vaults looking pretty, silver is out in the world working. It's the most conductive element on the periodic table. It's the most reflective. And here is the terrifying reality. We are using it up faster than we can dig it out of the ground. And unlike gold, which we hoard for centuries, we are literally throwing our silver into the trash. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the very metal we overlook is the single biggest bottleneck for the green energy revolution, and why we might be heading toward a global shortage that nobody is prepared for. To understand the crisis, we first have to understand why silver is a chemical superhero. It's not just a shiny rock. It has the highest electrical conductivity, thermal conductivity, and reflectivity of any metal. If you want to move electricity from point A to point B with the least amount of resistance, you use silver. Copper is good, but silver is the gold standard. Pun intended. Because of these properties, silver is an industrial metal masquerading as a precious metal. About 50% of all gold ever mined is sitting in a vault or hanging around someone's neck. But over 60% of silver demand comes from industry. It's in your laptop, your microwave, your car's defrosting system, and the switches in your walls. We live in a world built on silver. But here's the catch. Because silver is so efficient, we only use a tiny amount in each device. A few milligrams here, a gram there. It's just enough to make the device work, but not enough to make it profitable to recycle. When you toss an old iPhone, that silver is gone. It ends up in a landfill, diluted into the soil, essentially lost to humanity forever. We are the only generation in history that treats a finite, precious resource like a disposable wrapper. Now, let's go deep into the why. Why now? Why is the alarm finally ringing? It comes down to one word: decarbonization. If we want to move away from fossil fuels, we need solar power. And if you want solar power, you need silver. Silver paste is applied to silicon wafers to carry the electrons generated by sunlight. According to the Silver Institute, the solar sector alone consumed over 190 million ounces of silver in 2023. That's nearly 20% of the total global supply. And as we push for net zero, that number is projected to explode. But wait, it gets more complicated. Let's talk about the supply paradox. You'd think that if the world needed more silver, we'd just dig more silver mines, right? Wrong. Only about 28% of silver comes from dedicated silver mines. The other 72% is a byproduct. It's what miners find while they're actually looking for lead, zinc, and copper. This means the supply of silver is inelastic. If the price of silver doubles, a copper miner isn't going to double their production just to get that extra silver, because their main business is copper. This creates a massive lag in how the market can respond to shortages. In 2022, the global silver market saw a deficit of 237 million ounces. In 2023, another massive deficit. We are currently living off of above-ground stocks, vaults of silver held by investors and banks. But those vaults aren't bottomless. We are effectively eating our seed corn to keep the lights on. So what does this actually mean for you? It means the cost of our high-tech future is about to get a lot more expensive. If silver supply hits a wall, the price of solar panels goes up. The price of electric vehicles, which use twice as much silver as internal combustion cars, goes up. Every piece of 5G infrastructure, every smart device, every medical tool using silver's antimicrobial properties, the cost of entry for the digital age starts to climb. There's also a geopolitical angle. Much of the world's silver refining and solar manufacturing is concentrated in specific regions. If silver becomes the new oil, a critical, scarce resource for energy independence, we could see resource nationalism, where countries stop exporting silver to protect their own green transitions. We are moving from a world of fuel-intensive energy, coal and gas, to a world of material-intensive energy, and silver is the most vulnerable material in that equation. The bottom line is this: we have spent a century treating silver as an infinite commodity, but it is a finite miracle of chemistry. We are currently facing a structural deficit that hasn't been seen in decades. To solve this, we need a revolution in urban mining, finding ways to economically recover those tiny bits of silver from our e-waste. We need to stop seeing our old electronics as trash and start seeing them as the mines of the future. Silver isn't just for jewelry or old coins anymore. It's the conductor of our future. The question is, will we realize its value before the last of it ends up in a landfill? The next time you hold your phone, remember, you're holding a piece of a disappearing treasure. Use it wisely.